Uncle to use modern technology to spread Islam. We have also got our own website on internet. And every day sitting in Bombay, we do dawah individually to a person in America, in England, in Singapore, in Malaysia, on the internet. We enter the Christian chat channels and we talk about the Bible. And they ask us, do you have the Bible in front of you when you're quoting? Alhamdulillah. And then slowly we get them towards the Quran and towards Islam. So we're trying a level best, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our activities.
Okay. What?
So if we chop off all the people, then many people lose their hands. But the law is so strict that the moment we implement it, and if a person comes to know that his hands will be chopped off if he robs, immediately the thought of robbing will go away from his mind. Do you know today America, which happens to be one of the most advanced countries in the world, unfortunately it also has one of the highest rates of crime. Highest rate of robbery and theft. I'm asking you a question. If you implement the Islamic Sharia in America, that is every which person gives zakat, 2.5% of his excess wealth in charity, and after that if any man or woman robs, chop off his or her hand, I'm asking you a question. Will the rate of robbery and theft in America, will it increase? Will it remain the same or will it decrease? It will decrease. It's a practical law. You implement the Sharia, you get results. Let me give you an example. That most of the major religions say that you should not molest a woman, that you should not rape a woman. Hinduism says that, Christianity says that, Islam says the same. But Islam shows you a way how to achieve that state in which people will not, men will not molest or rape a woman. Islam has a system of hijab. People normally talk about hijab for the women. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the glorious Quran first speaks about the hijab for the man and then for the woman. The glorious Quran says in Surah Nur chapter number 24 verse number 30 that says the believing man that he should lower his gaze and guard his modesty. Whenever a man looks at a woman and any brazen thought comes in his mind, any unashamed thought comes in his mind, he should lower his gaze. There was once a friend of mine, was a Muslim friend, who was staring at a girl for a long time. So I told him, brother, what are you doing? It's prohibited in Islam to stare at a girl. So he told me, our beloved Prophet said that the first glance is allowed, the second is prohibited. I have not yet completed half my glance. What did the Prophet mean by saying the first glance is allowed, the second is prohibited? He didn't mean that you can look at a woman and stare continuously at her for 20 minutes without blinking. What the Prophet meant that if you look at a woman unintentionally, intentionally don't look at her again, don't feast on her.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. My beloved Uncle Ahmed Deedat, the Deedat family, my respected elders, and my brothers and sisters, I welcome all of you with Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace, mercy and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be on all of you. It was approximately 4 months back, or it was 5 months back I believe, when I was there in South Africa on the invitation of the IDM, Islamic Daaee movement. That's on the 25th of May when I met Uncle Deedat. I call him Uncle, but in the Gulf countries they call him Sheikh Deedat. Where through the communication board, he communicated to me that my son, what you have done in 4 years took me 40 years to accomplish. And I told to Uncle that, Uncle, because you gave me everything on a platter, it was your hard work of 40 years that it was possible, by Allah's grace, that I could do it in 4 years. Otherwise, it would have taken me 44 years. Whatever little bit I am today, I'm nothing great. Whatever little bit I'm contributing in the field of dawah, maybe I would have been of the age of 75 if it hadn't been for Uncle Deedat. And as Brother Yusuf has asked me that I should narrate a few things regarding how I met Uncle Deedat and how I got involved in the field of dawah. It was about 13 years back, in the year 1987, in the month of December, when we hosted Uncle Ahmed Deedat in Bombay for a lecture tour. He He was there in India only for a couple of days, and in a short notice of less than 1 day, of less than 24 hours, we asked him to give a talk, and Alhamdulillah, he was very much willing, and we gathered thousands of people, Alhamdulillah. And that's the time I had seen a few of his cassettes, and I was his chauffeur, his driver. Wherever he went, I was his driver. And I asked him that, uncle, why are you so arrogant on the stage? And he replied to me that, my son, I'm not arrogant, I'm militant. And there are two ways of fighting the devil. Either with holy water or with fire. I have chosen the fire. If anyone can do with the holy water, he's most welcome. I have chosen the fire. And the way he replied to me changed my complete outlook of Sheikh Ahmed Deedat. You know, I was such a youngster, like his grandson. He could have told me, just shut up. But the way he replied to me, I realized that you are very humble, alhamdulillah. And when he told me that, son, if you can be soft and achieve the same results, go ahead. So whatever knowledge I acquired from his video cassettes, I started using in my medical college. I was in the 2nd year at BBS. And believe me, for 6 months, I got no results. I started thinking to myself that what Sheikh Deedat is doing on the stage, same thing I'm repeating. Allah gave me good memory. Why there are no results? I said there's something missing, and I was very soft. Then I changed my style, and I became very militant. And believe me, within a few weeks, alhamdulillah, not only did I convince many non-Muslims, but even many Muslims who did not offer salah, they started offering salah. And now, alhamdulillah, being in the field for quite some time, I realized what Uncle Deedat does on the stage. And I got involved in the field. We started IRF in the year 1991. That's the time I got more involved in the field of Daaee during my internship. And in the year 1994, I started giving talks, mainly in Bombay. And when I visited South Africa for the second time, first I came in 1988. I spent time with Uncle Deedat here at Berylem. In 1994, Uncle saw one of my cassettes, one of my first few lectures on women's rights, and he commented, after seeing me talk and quoting Quran with references, he said that, son, I have not seen anyone quoting the Quran with reference. The person that reminds me when I am seeing a cassette is the person, the Maulana. His name was Maulana Haqqani, who was also famous for quoting verses. And he told my son, he put me to shame. And after that, he wrote on the letterhead, and he gave me the title Deedat Plus. I know that I was nowhere close to Uncle Deedat. It was his encouragement after hearing one of my first few talks. He gave me the title Deedat Plus. And in 1996, I started my actual debut of giving talks. That's approximately 4 years back, in giving in large audiences. And it was a desire of my mother that I should become a surgeon, a heart specialist. And she was a fan of Dr. Christian Bernard, who also happens to be from South Africa. It was a desire, because my father, he took admission in surgery